I'm Chef Aaron Fish, and this is Fish Food, where we make tasty, approachable snacks. And today, I'm gonna teach you how to make the best roasted chicken thigh on a pellet grill using Isaac Toop's Thunderdust. All right, so step one, we're gonna go ahead and make our rub. Now, we're gonna take the Thunderdust. I got a little bit of brown sugar in a bowl here. We're gonna mix this up. You don't really need to add salt. It already comes with a good amount of salt in it. We're gonna give it a toss. We're gonna coat these up. Just 3 bone-in chicken thighs, skin on. Just pack them in here. If you're able to find gloves in this shortage, go ahead and use them. All right. Now, a lot of times when you're putting chicken on a pellet grill, you wanna let it sit overnight or for a couple hours when there's a rub. My method doesn't require that, and it comes out amazing. So let's go throw these on the smoker. All right, I've got my pellet grill set to smoke. And it's not blown out yet, but it's going to be. We're gonna put these skin side up, just right on the grill. Nope. If you see any spots of skin that you didn't get rubbed, that's okay, just kind of rub it again. And we're gonna let this cook for about 2 hours. All right, so we got that chicken smoking, and we're gonna roast our squash. So if you don't know how to break down a butternut squash, I'm gonna give you a little quick tip. I like to take the little knob off the top, flip it up, cut it. And be careful, it's hard to cut through. And this is the side where the seed pocket is. We wanna get those seeds out. It's like carving a pumpkin, but it's squash. Now I just like to take a spoon and scoop it out just like that. I'm gonna put it down on a pre-greased sheet pan. Throw it in a 400-degree oven. It should probably take about anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour probably to roast. All right, let's do it. All right, so we've got our chicken smoking, our squash roasting. Let's get our greens braising. So we're gonna start with some chopped bacon. We're gonna get that on the stove. We're gonna start rendering it, and then we'll clean these greens. I got that bacon on medium heat. We're gonna render it out, which means cooking the fat out and getting it a little crispy. As we braise it, it's gonna take some of the crispiness away, but we want that fat in there to give flavor. So if you've never cleaned greens before, this works for kale, chard, collard greens is what we're using today. You just go ahead and grab the stalk and just pull it out like that. You get a little, if it doesn't all come off, that's okay, but it makes it pretty easy. I'll throw it all in there. You can fold it and just kind of pull your fingers through it. It's gonna get the stalk out. Now with kale, what's kind of fun is you can save the stems if you're into juicing. You can juice the stems. You could theoretically juice these stems too, I guess. I guess I've never tried. Maybe we should. That'll be our next video. We've got all the stems off, and I'm just gonna kind of roll it into a log. You could do this one leaf at a time if you're more comfortable with that, and just run your knife through it. We just don't want these giant pieces, but it's gonna cook down. It seems like a lot of greens, but this is gonna be enough for like 1 or 2 people. All right, so the bacon's rendering out. I actually turned the heat down to more of like a medium-low so that we don't burn the bacon. And you can see, I'm gonna pull some out. Like some of it's crispy like this, and some of it's not. That's okay, we really just want the fat. So we're gonna go ahead and throw some shallot in here. We're gonna let that cook for about 30 seconds or so, and then we're gonna add some garlic slivers. Okay, now I'm gonna add about 2 cloves of garlic. And I just cut them into slivers, you can see. And toss that around. You turn your heat back up to high at this point. You wanna get it nice and rolling. And you can see on the bottom here, all this like buildup. We call that fond. I think we talked about it once in a previous video. So what we're gonna do is, after this garlic blooms for just a second, oh, it smells so good. I'm gonna pour some beer, some unnamed beer. It's an IPA. We don't need very much, probably about a 1/4 cup. And look at that, see it's coming right off. See that? I'm gonna pull that up, and that's all flavor. Okay? Beautiful. All right, so now that we got most of that up, I'm gonna go ahead and add my 2 cups of stock. And we're gonna throw in our greens. And we're gonna wait to season till the end, because there's a lot of greens and it's gonna cook down, and we don't really wanna put too much salt on there. Because then it just tastes like garbage and nobody wants to eat that. So always wait when you're doing your greens to season at the end. That way you don't screw it up. All right, so I brought those greens up to a simmer. We're gonna let them go at a medium heat, bubble, uncovered. I want that liquid to reduce. It's gonna build a ton of flavor. We're gonna stir it as it goes and just keep cooking it. But while we're doing that, we're gonna go ahead and make a little quick white barbecue sauce for our dish. So I've got some mayonnaise, some horseradish and Dijon mustard. And it's not 100% authentic, but we're just gonna have fun with it, right? Some white vinegar, and we're gonna put some of the Rump shaker in there. So if you saw, I did some cured salmon with this before. It's a pig peppercorn and Himalayan salt mix. It's delicious. Okay, give it a stir. Okay, and give it a little taste. We always taste our food, right? Oh yeah, that's delicious. Chicken's been smoking for about 2 hours. And then this is our next step, okay? We're just gonna take it, flip it skin side down. Okay? And you're gonna crank that heat all the way up to high. Now mine goes up to about 450 degrees. You don't really wanna go much hotter than that. The skin's getting nice and crispy, it's gonna get roasty, and it's gonna get delicious. Chicken's been cooking for probably about 15 minutes. I just temped him to 165. Look at that skin. That looks amazing. Nice and roasty. All right, let's get these pulled off. Our squash is ready. The way I check it is I just kind of smash it a little bit with my hand and it's soft. If you don't have strong hands because you're not used to touching hot stuff, you can use like some tongs, just see where it's at. We're gonna mash it through one of these guys. Now, this is kind of like a very small version of like a cookie resting tray or something you would see in your home kitchen. We call them roasting racks in the professional kitchen. This is a 3rd pan size. And so it actually works perfect for this because it can go right on top of my food processor, and they're, you know, about the right size for the squash. See, there's the bottom, that's what it looks like. And the reason we're gonna do this is we don't really want the skin in the squash puree. So these are crazy hot because I just took it out of the oven. So I'm using a towel. I'm gonna smash it through and check it out. You've just got your skin right here. Boom, peel it off, throw it away. All right, we got our squash smashed in here. We're gonna add some butter to it. By some, I mean probably a lot. Let's go ahead and let's just put it all in there because we're all fat kids at heart. A little salt, unless you're using salted butter, which I don't. You gotta be a little more careful about that. A little maple syrup. And then to amplify that maple syrup, we're gonna use a little maple sugar as well. We want it to be a little bit sweet. Not too much, just to kind of help carry that butternut squash sweetness that's already naturally there. All right, let's put the lid on it. Kick it on. Puree's done, our chicken's done, our white barbecue sauce is done, and our greens are done too. You can see like all that liquid's pretty much gone, and that's all flavor. So we're gonna taste it really quick. I haven't salted it yet. Remember, we talked about waiting. Bacon's inherently salty. You know, the beer has a little bit of sodium in it. It just needs a little bit. So, and you can see, look how much those greens cooked down. I mean, they were up to the top of this pan, and now they're not. All right, stir it up, good to go. Let's plate our dish. All right, we got a lot of components to this dish, so let's plate it up, all right? We got our puree. I mean, it looks amazing. This is about how thick you want it. Plop that right in the center. Okay, make a nice little well. We're gonna take our greens and squeeze out the juice just a little bit. We want some of that flavor in there, but we don't want it to be all soupy. Some of that white barbecue. Okay, it's gonna add a lot of contrast to the dish. And let's use this piece. This piece looks really good. It's right on top. I got some other fun stuff for this. So I've got some dehydrated corn. You can pick that up at you know, any large, like a large retailer. Typically it's, you know, in the dehydrated section, food prepping. And then I have some sunflower seeds. So with the corn, we're just gonna go ahead and sprinkle some just kind of around the plate. Just gonna add some textural element to the plate. These are really delicious, nice and sweet, and I mean, they're real, you can hear that. And maybe I put it next to my mic, you hear it crunching. Okay, I'm just gonna add just a nice little fresh element with these sunflower shoots. I'm just gonna put it right on top. Keep it simple, keep it delicious. I mean, look at that chicken, that puree, the white barbecue, we got the greens. I'm excited to eat this. Alrighty, so as per usual, it's time to dig into this bad boy. So, I'm gonna get in here, cut this chicken. I mean, look at that, it's juicy. Look how juicy that is. See all those juices? This, by far, has been some of the best chicken I've ever made. I've been working on it for a few months. So we've got, well, I'm gonna have to get the skin. I think that's where the flavor's at. A little bit of sauce, a little bit of this. Holy Some greens. I just get my fingers in everything, don't I? So you have the crispiness from that skin, that heat from the Thunderdust. Crispiness of these corn kernels are crazy good. The maple, you know, butternut squash. The braised greens with the bacon bringing that savoriness. And that white barbecue sauce with the acid. I mean, it's just, this dish is phenomenal. And I wish you guys were here, but this is how you make delicious fish food.